Dating hood dudes is definitely a huge sign of immaturity in women. And before y'all come at me in my comments, I want to say hit dogs holla.
Every time.
And I've been there before, so I'm not judging. I'm really speaking from experience. When I was way younger, like by the time I was 21, I was done with them.
Mm.
But when I was way younger, those are the type of guys that I used to be into. It's a huge sign of immaturity for the simple fact that you have no future with these type of men.
Mm.
Besides the cheating and the lies and all of that, can't have kids with them because kids need structure and stability. They can't get that if their daddy is in and out of jail, if the money is funny. You never know who's coming for the hood dude that you're with. You never know what type of street trouble he's in. So if they're after him, they could be after you too. It's just unsafe and it's unstable. And I wish that all my girls would be released from the shackles of hood dudes.
I don't think that there's another ethnic group like mine where the women disproportionately like the criminals of their society as much as my community does. When I was growing up in school, especially middle school, I noticed that a large amount of the women that I thought were attractive were into the street dudes. And a guy like me was considered lame because I had structure. My mom and my dad, it was like, yo, you're gonna stay busy, you're gonna have to do things, you can't just run the streets all day. The guys that some of these girls were into were already criminals. I'm not lying to y'all, they were literally already criminals. You know, this is New Orleans, so these dudes start the criminal life early. A lot of y'all grew up in cities just like me. Maybe you're from Detroit, Baltimore, Philly, Compton, one of those type of places. You know what I'm talking about. These cities breed thugs and gangsters. So a lot of our women get introduced to this really, really early. Some of their dads were street dudes. Their brothers, cousins, and uncles are street dudes. So they grow up in an environment where this is the norm. So in essence, all they doing is gravitating towards what they know already. But that's to be expected. But the mind-boggling thing is the black girls that come from the suburbs who went to PWIs and went to private schools their whole life, and they still end up with some of the most hardcore gangsters of our community. I guess they say opposites attract. Or maybe it's because black people put light onto this type of behavior and they make it look good. Look, I went to a HBCU, and most of y'all should know this. Most HBCUs are smack dead in the middle of some ghetto neighborhood. That's pretty much 90% of them, right? When I was in college, some of our smartest and brightest were getting ran through by the local neighborhood dudes. I ain't talking about clean cut rapper looking dudes. I'm talking about dirty, dingy, trap looking dudes getting ran through. Some of these women today are literally doctors, pharmacists, and lawyers. I'm talking about white collar workers. And these men still have a stronghold on them. I remember reading a news article a couple of years ago. There was this real pretty young lady, high school girl, and she was in a private school and everything. And she got into a relationship with a dude that was running the streets, and he had real ops. He had a very noticeable car. Everybody in the city knew who that car belonged to. When they saw the car, they know it was him, with real dark windows. One day, the girl takes the car. She's driving around in it. The guys who are looking for the boyfriend see the car, and because the windows are really dark, they don't know that it's not him driving. So what do? They open fire in a hail of bullets. Unfortunately, the young lady didn't make it. And this all could have been avoided had she not been dating that type of guy, because she didn't come from that type of background. Her mom and her dad, even though they weren't together, they both were active, and they both did everything that they were supposed to do in order to ensure the future for their daughter. But it got cut short because she was messing with one of these pookies. This type of things happen all the time. As a matter of fact, one of my friend's sister, the exact same thing happened to her, and she was famous. People from New Orleans, if you could put two and two together, you know who I'm talking about. They were looking for the guy, they stalked him, and when he came out, they were both together. And you think that they said, hey, nah, he's with his girlfriend, let's come back and get him when he's not with her. No, they aired that thing out. Both people deceased. You get what I'm saying? And this is what happens a lot of time to women in our community. And that's on the extreme side. But on the other side, you get pregnant for these guys, and either A, they go to jail, or either B, they get murdered. So now you don't have a father figure for your child. That's the most common one. Another one that people don't really talk about is this. Let's say he does stick around. If he's 21 years old and he's in the streets, what type of stuff do you think he's teaching his children? A lot of people don't discuss this, but there's a large amount of guys who actually are in the streets who daddy taught them the games. A lot of people don't know that. I know guys right now who daddy taught them everything about the street life, because that was a way of him showing his son how to survive out here if anything happens to him, so he can still hold down the house. But yeah, guys, you know, in the black community, we hype up the street life and rap music and movies, so you know, it's cool. If you're not doing these things, you're not considered really from the hood, you know, and that's a big problem. And that's why a lot of women gravitate towards these type of guys. But listen, guys, I like what she said, because she said that she stopped messing with those guys at 21. In my experience, man, that's not the case. Most women ain't stopping messing with these dudes until they're damn near 40, and sometimes not even then. But guys, if y'all have any videos that I need to see, I want y'all to send them to thatboywillclips@gmail.com. I'm gonna leave it pinned in the comments so that y'all can easily access it. Like the video, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, man. I'm gonna mess with y'all on the next one.